and running. Second job of the day just turned up blank display on the display, so I'm just gonna put a couple of new batteries in. Hopefully it's just that. Right, next job up. Both off. Heating. Get in there. Right, so there we go. You can see the paddle there. It's just depressed onto the micro switch, keeping it on all the time. So the boiler will be running all the time. Body is fine. So a little bit of a swap over, just doing one wire at a time. Right, so when I got there, basically that paddle, that brass paddle, it was switched onto that micro switch all the time, which would have been big keeping the boiler on all the time. And the motor is very heavy. Yeah, you can hear it. It was just locking up. It was roasting hot. It's skipping as well, so just replaced it, rewired it as you saw, and job done. Right, so this one here, no heating downstairs. Pump's not running. Have a look in here then. Gonna swap this over. Oven away like a good one. Body's absolutely fine. Right, so I've just wired in a new one. Get it all back on. Oh, there we go. So hopefully a click. Lovely. Cool, so we've got two boilers. This one does upstairs and hot water, and this one does the underfloor. So we'll just wait for that to cool down. So it was at 71 just a second ago. Wait for it to cool down and it'll kick back in, probably around about 40 degrees, something like that. There we go. So it's back on. And then hopefully we should start getting some heat coming down here. Yeah, lovely. There we go. There we go. So that comes into the manifold. This is a temperature. Deals with the temperature. Goes into your manifold. Goes off to the various ones. So this one's cooling. See, they're all starting to open up now. The ones that are cooling. So yeah. This is awkward. I'm having to like stand up in here to be able to get over to here. Not fun. Last bolt, that was a pain. Wow, okay, it's probably one of the worst I've seen, like, I've come across. Yeah, there's some gear in there, isn't it? I can hear something banging around inside as well, which I'm assuming possibly is going to be the burner. Because as you can see, the front door has cracked. Yeah, that was the burner that was flapping around. So yeah, definitely think that was time for a change. And also you can just see at the bottom of the sump it's just, you know, it's all coming out as well. So yeah, definitely due a change. See how long that's been going. This one clean. Make sure you order up new ones. Lots of grease, paste, more grease. Oh my God, that was a nightmare. So yeah, the right hand manifold, I just could not get that to seal. Took me ages, took me 3-4 attempts to try and get that to seal. Had it in the right place, everything. I was just, yeah, it was just, wasn't doing it. So I had to keep on draining it down, but got there in the end. Took me 4 hours, start to finish. So that's a long time, but it's just one of them things on these boilers. And obviously you've seen the access, that was terrible. So yeah, I think 4 hours was fairly decent considering that. Literally having to stand in the cupboard, you know, yeah, it wasn't fun. Got a bit of a headache now. So yeah, on to the next one. Right, so as you just saw there, leaking gasket seal. So I've got one here, as you can see in there. Yeah, this one comes with an air vent, so it's to do with the when you have to take that manifold off. I'm not going to use the air vent. I'm just going to use the seal for now, just to get the boiler up and running, really. So yeah, you could use that part number, but there are other ones that you can just get just with the seal. So yeah, we'll get in there and swap it over. Basically on this one, I just want to say thank you to everyone, because it was you guys that pointed me to this. So when I turned up, I saw it was a compact and it was a little leak. That was the first place I checked. So this is why I do this, and this is, you know, you get the payback because people give you some really good information. So yeah, so I bought about 10 of these just to keep on the van with me, because it seems to be quite a common issue. Right, so I've got called to this one, no hot water. So zone valve's not moving over, not getting power on the brown here, which is the hot water zone valve, so I'm not getting power there. So what I've done is I've linked live to 3, which is hot water on. Still getting nothing moving here. And what I've done, I've come down here, found this had tripped, so I clicked this, and it was working. So I think possibly the immersion had been used and it overheated. Power back on.
Oh, no, the gate's busted.
Okay, so the flow pipe is getting hot. Boiler has lit, you can see. The cold going to the taps, well, hot going to the taps is still cold. So there's a diverter issue. So I'm going to go and run the tap, and then what we're going to be checking for is coming out. Okay, so yeah, it is coming out and hitting the micro switch. It's just going straight down the flow. So it's hot here, cool over here, return is sort of lukewarm. So there must be a bypass somewhere. I wonder if that is the bypass there. hot. Yeah, it's absolutely roasting. I reckon it could be this plate. It's just not transferring through. Yeah, because that is boiling. Okay, so assuming that's the bypass. Yeah, that is absolutely roasting. So what I might do, I'll take this off. Hopefully clean it out, because yeah, it's just not. I wonder if I isolate the flow pipe as well. I don't really want to. Could isolate the flow and see if it then gets roasting hot and overheats. Right. So I've isolated the flow at the back there. So it can only go to there. Let's just see what happens. Nothing going down here though. So it's now passing through. Still nothing to the taps. Well, that ain't going to have helped, is it? Because I was holding the wrong pipe. That's the gas pipe, dickhead. So yes, the heating's now hot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this back up again. My first job of the day is this diverter on this CDI RSF. Must admit, it's been playing on my mind a little bit. It just seems like sometimes I get a real run of bad jobs. Like that heat exchange yesterday was terrible, and now this again. So yeah, not the greatest start to my day, but we'll get in there, get it drained down and get started really. That's all we can do. I've watched a couple of videos from that Jeffrey Needs and stuff like that, so I just don't want to remove the PCB and all that sort of stuff. I just feel like that's proper overkill, but we'll see. We'll see. And because it's an old boiler as well, I'm just hesitant to remove everything and then the PCB goes or something like that. So but yeah, this is real life struggles, mate. So I'm gonna have to get this out. No choice because it's too close. So I'm just gonna get these last connections out. Drain offs won't work. I'm going to go through here. Right there. You have to be proper careful with this. Try and undo that. The vessel's charged, just draining out the plate and whatever's left in here. Right, so the plate's out. This is loose. I think we've got to try and move this to release this. Right, I just want to put this in here because there's a little hole in the chassis that, where a bit of stub of the brass diverter goes into. Just want to say, Jeffrey Needs says put PTFE around there and grease it up. Don't change the seal, and it worked a treat. Done that, no issues. I just want to say, at this point, my heart was in my mouth when I started to fill it up. Obviously I had the cold water on. But filling it up, I was just thinking, oh, here we go, please don't leak. I was literally just, yeah, praying to the gods that it all worked, and everything that I'd done, and, you know, how meticulous I'd been with everything, I was just hoping that it was working. So as you can see, it was the little bit had broken off to you know, to twist the knob, but I just used my grips, just let it fill up slowly and just kept on checking. Oh my God, guys, you just do not know how happy I was. The sense of relief was unreal, because I still knew I had a load of jobs left to get through for the rest of the day. I was kind of only half expecting 2 hours, not 3 hours, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, honestly, the relief. Popping up there. Flow pipe is cold, yes. Get in. What's the diverter valve? Completed it, mate. Don't know what the fuss is about. 20 minutes, half hour, job done. Only joking. That was a proper pain. But yeah, got there in the end. As you saw, had some... I'll tell you what the hardest bit was, this little bracket on the right-hand side, trying to get the screws started that hold the diverter back onto the actual chassis. They took me a good 20 minutes, half an hour. They just would not start. So yeah, that was a pain. But yeah, filling it up, my heart was in my mouth. I was like, oh, here we go. Please don't leak. But now I've fired it back up and lovely. It's working like an absolute treat. So I'm literally made up with myself. So that took me from 8 and I think it's now about 11 o'clock. So it's not a short job. But yeah, we got there in the end. Okay, that's fine. Don't know if you can hear this. So swapped over the head. You can see the pump's now on. Just had to repair the hive. Right, so next job is this program. I basically, hot water side is clicking, heating side, go across to continuous, and no click happens, just the light comes on, so it's not actually switching across. So literally I'm just going to swap it across to one of these Draytons and just rewire it. So I just copy it pretty much, so I'll just go live, neutral and earth, and then I'll put the other ones in the right. Got rid of the old one, rewired it, put it back in. So I know that's not looking too healthy, but ignore that. I'll turn the thermostat up. Oh my God, this is a joke. Literally can't get nothing in there. God's sake, it was a stuck body. God's sake. Right, so that was 40. Also, the 3-port was. So I'm just putting this in here because I just wanted to show you that this is how I learn. I've never come across these really. I've come across them once or twice, but I've never done anything with them before. So I know the wiring is different. That's about as much as I know. So you're just going to see me literally working it out. Somebody was out yesterday, you know you are, because you'll be watching it probably. And I just, you know, this is also to help them as well. I don't know, but I finally got there in the end. It took me a while, but yeah, so let's get into it and hopefully it helps people out. Right, so just turned up to the job, which is a SUNVIC valve, okay? So I'll put the new head on, which is that one there. The old one is here. And it's just spinning. So basically what I'm at the minute, I've got this 5-pin connector that was already here. So I don't know the wiring, but I'm going to go orange to orange. Okay, so I'm going to swap them two over. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this one. I'm going to find out which one is 240 on here. So that'll be the permanent live. So this grey is the permanent live. So I'm going to try and marry that up so to where that goes. Right, so line them up. It's that white goes in line with that. So I'm going to put the grey into the permanent live. And again, I'm just going by the instructions that are here. So grey must always be connected to 230. So yeah, see grey. Grey is live. Switch live for boiler, so it's very similar. Yeah, so try that. Right, so got grey lined up with that other one, which is the permanent live. Orange is already in, so I've got 2 colours left. Alright, and there's no neutral, there's no earth on here. And I think that's because it's plastic bodied. Okay, so we've got 2 colours left. Right, so I've cut them off just into little bits. So blue and blue line up. This one here is the earth connection, which is not going to be used. So blue and blue line up, and then yellow to green. And then I need to put my brown in there. So I'll do the blue first. Alright, so the blue's in, so that lines up. So now I've just got to swap over this brown, which is where the yellow goes. And that will line up to a green on there. So see how it goes. Got the power off. So I'm going to connect these back up, and I hope you can see my sort of method in my madness. Okay, so pretty much orange to orange. We know that's going to be that there. So I needed to find a permanent live, which was that one there. So I've put my grey in there because that's what it says. And then I've gone blue to blue, and then it only leaves one left. Okay, which is that one there. This is your earth, but it's not earthed on this one. That's why we're missing a wire. And it's because it must be it's plastic bodied, so it doesn't need it. I hope. So I'm going to get some power on and see what happens. Okay. So put the heat in. On. Let's see what happens. If anything. Take it off. Right, so it has motored over. I did hear a micro switch as well go, so I just went and turned the thermostat up hoping that that would work. I did hear a click there, so I'm going to take it off and have a look. Okay, so something's happening when I do this. Can hear a micro switch. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this hot water one and see what's going on there. Right, so what seems to be happening is I'm losing, as soon as I click the programmer on, I'm losing my 240 from here. So I'm going to trace this light blue back. If I go in here, you see it's into the neutrals down here. That light blue down there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and work out, see if I can get one of them permanent lives, move that across to the permanent live. Right, so I've put it in with that red. Okay, so we'll see what happens now. So, programmer's on. I think it's motoring. Yeah. Come on, please, I've got it. Oh, yes. Lovely. So, what I would do is maybe take a photo of that, screenshot. That may help you out as to where the wires go for a SUNVIC. Right, let's double check it goes off. Oh, fucking get in. And it's motoring back as well. Don't know if you can see it. So, put it back to on. I think it might go all the way back and then motor back over. Get in. So let's just go over it then. So this grey needs a permanent live. Okay. This is your switch live, and this is for your motor. Okay, so that helps hopefully. So if you turn it off for us, that's it. Yep. So,
when you come down, you'll see what I mean by 2 clicks.
okay, and then if you turn it back on again.
So,
Lovely. Sorry, it's just these zone valves are so slow. So we're going to have to wait for it to do like a full revolution before it will bring it back on. Yep, so there we go, back on. Well, there we go. Every day's a school day. Never come across a SUNVIC. Well, sorry, I've come across them. I've never had to do anything with them. So yeah, I was just kind of trying to use a little bit of knowledge and hopefully that getting it right. So I was 99% right. So it was just that light blue that was coming in had power, and then as soon as you switch the programmer on, that 240 would go. So I don't know why that was. So yeah, that's why I just thought, right, well, if I just, that needs a permanent live. So that's why I thought I'd move it back to where that red was, which is obviously your incoming, and then that's your permanent live. So yeah, and it's working fine. I've tested it probably 7 or 8 times. It seems to be working fine. It's just that they're so slow at motoring them things. So yeah, you know, you turn it off and then you have to turn it back on again, and it takes ages for it to turn itself all the way back off again for it to then wind back up again. Yeah. But yeah, we got there in the end. What a pain. I just turned up now to a fire service, and the fire's on. You know, you're just like, mate, come on, what am I meant to do? Thanks everyone for watching again. Sorry I've been a bit sporadic with the uploads, but I just found that, yeah, the everyday ones were, they were getting very samey. So I thought I'd just try and save them up for some half decent jobs when they do crop up. So yeah, if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Yeah, and I hope that SUNVIC valve one, you know, that was a new one on me. So yeah, I'm actually proud of myself. I'm proud that I actually managed to work that one out. And you know, it just shows that, you know, things are going into this little head, and you know, and I'm retaining it as well. So it's perfect.